Finally for us here on Voices tonight, in Western New York, the late Tim Russert remains a legend. The longtime moderator of Meet the Press passed away back in 2008. His son Luke followed in his father's footsteps as a journalist until he realized one day that he hadn't fully grieved from losing his dad. So he left broadcasting behind and set off to travel the world, later documenting his 3 years of globetrotting in a book titled Look for Me There: Grieving My Father, Finding Myself. The book came out almost exactly 1 year ago, and it will soon be available in paperback. And joining us now is Luke Russert. Luke, congratulations on the re-release of the book. Here's my copy here. It is a great read, and I want to ask you about it in just a moment. But first of all, I was just thinking, this is so much about your travels, several years all over the world. But over the past year, since the book first came out, you've also been traveling a lot, doing events for the book, talking to a lot of people. How was that journey over the past year different, or what did you learn there separate from your other travels that you document in the book?
Well, it was an incredibly rewarding journey because I was able to engage with a lot of readers, many of them who had said to me they related to a lot of the things I spoke about in the book, about a grief journey, about self-discovery, about feeling like you just need a little bit more time to figure things out because life's not going the way you planned, but you still really want to be a good member of society, an active participant, and be there for your family and your friends and in your country. So being able to hear these stories north, west, east, south, all around the country was greatly inspiring. The other thing, though, that I noticed, especially on the topic of grief, it's still so taboo in our society. And people, when they see an opening, when they see that there's a welcome mat out there to talk about it, they really give a lot of themselves. And I was deeply touched by that. So I included some of those stories in the new afterword for the paperback. It just shows you how much grief plays a role in our lives, and what we do to deal with it really defines a lot.
Yeah, and how much loss can just change you. I lost my mother a couple of years ago and did something I never anticipated doing, changing jobs, being at one place for almost 15 years and then deciding, you know what, need to do something different, and came here to 7 News. It's crazy how grief can change you.
Taking that initiative, though, because it's not easy. Yeah. And sometimes there's a life-changing moment that repositions you, and you go through with it, and you just have to have the fortitude and the knowledge that, hey, I'm going to be okay. And it's okay to take that risk. It's okay to take that chance, because ultimately, if there's a reward on the other side, it makes you feel so much better.
You took a lot of chances during your travels, and one of the things I love most about just the story of how you came to take this adventure and then put it into written word is that it started with John Boehner, the former Speaker of the House. Can you explain to me what that interaction was like? I mean, he shared some words of wisdom with you that I think you sort of didn't think you were going to hear from him, right?
Well, I was like you, Michael. I was a network reporter. I was a news reporter, and I was on Capitol Hill. I'd been there for 8 years, and a lot of those 12, 14-hour days, the grind. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I always felt that there was something off. Was this really what I wanted to do? And one day I saw the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, in the hallway of the Capitol. And he goes, "I want to see you in my office." And I thought he was angry about coverage. As you know, politicians sometimes get very salty about the coverage, and they want to go back and forth with you. And I went to his office. He asked me a very simple question. He goes, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, you're the Speaker of the House. I came to your office. You invited me. Of course I'm going to say yes." He goes, "No, what are you doing here on Capitol Hill? You've been here for 8 years. You seem like you know the place. You're only 30. You might do well to see another part of the country, another part of the world. Make sure this is really what you want, because I've seen people be here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in media and politics. They never do anything different, and they might have some regret." And I just go, wow. That voice that was in my head thinking, maybe there's something else. Who am I independent of this bubble I grew up in Washington? Who am I independent of this last name that I carry? And Speaker Boehner is somebody who, very similar to my father, came from a working class Catholic background in Cincinnati, first member of his family to go to college, paid for his tuition by being a janitor. He sort of said, "Listen, I'm at the top of the hill. I'm literally the Speaker of the House, and the view is not all it's cracked up to be. So if you want to go take some time to figure out your own life, you'd be well served to do it." Messages changes come in odd ways. I did not think Speaker Boehner, who when I walked into his office was reading Golf Digest and smoking a cigarette, was going to be that avenue, but it was.
Yeah, and it changed your life.
Yeah.
You know, here in Western New York, we love a good Buffalo connection, and there are obviously plenty of them in the book. I know you've spent a lot of time here. You kicked off your book tour a year ago in South Buffalo, of course, your dad's hometown. And, you know, I couldn't go without mentioning, and we'll show it to our viewers, the Buffalo yarmulke that you had when you were visiting overseas. Tell us some of those crazy sort of Buffalo connections that you came across during your travels.
Well, the Bills are worldwide. They're everywhere. And one of my favorite things, I would always try to have some sort of Bills gear when I was on airports. And you would hear "Go Bills" in Africa, "Go Bills" in Asia, "Go Bills" in Latin America. And the thing you're referencing specifically was there was a moment in the book where I was a little bit lost in Jerusalem, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw Buffalo Bills yarmulkes for sale. You know, I'm an Irish Catholic guy, but there's this Buffalo Bills yarmulke, and suddenly it made things a lot more clear that evening in a good way. You could read about that. But I think what's beautiful about Buffalo is that the ethos of the city of good neighbors, that really extends worldwide. People have that sense of community, and it is the single greatest talking point. One of the things that was not in the book that I always tell, I watched the Bills beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day in Amman, Jordan, and I found the Bills backer bar of Amman, Jordan. So you really get an idea of how strong the brand is worldwide, and we're so grateful for it.
Is that the game where Josh Allen ate the turkey leg?
I believe that is, yes.
I think that was it, yeah.
That was a great one.
So many good stories in here and lots of great takeaways. Congratulations on the paperback release of the book. Look for me there, Grieving My Father, Finding Myself. Luke Russert, thanks for talking with us about it.
Thanks so much, Michael. I appreciate your time.
And Luke will be signing copies of his book this Sunday. There's an event from 3 until 5 in the evening at the Blackthorn Pub on Seneca Street in South Buffalo. The paperback officially out this Tuesday.